The planet of death, birth, power, and control, Pluto, will enter the revolutionary sign of Aquarius on Tuesday, November 19th. And our lives will change forever as Pluto stays in the sign until 2043. Let's take a closer look and break it down for all 12 signs. My name is Anastasia. I'm a traditional Western astrologer specializing in natal, relationship, and predictive readings. If you enjoy my work, please take a few moments of your time to support me by leaving a like, a comment, subscribing, and pressing the notification bell. Watch more of my content or say thank you by buying me a coffee. I really appreciate everyone who takes advantage of that, and everyone who's been here for a while, thank you. If you're new, welcome. If you're looking to work with me, you have questions that an astrology one-on-one consultation can answer, book a reading at anastasiadoesastrology.com. I do relationship consultations talking about compatibility, the potential of the relationship, as well as natal chart readings, predictive readings. It's a great time to book your year ahead reading to look at the year coming up. In fact, I am currently offering $20 off the in-person consultation with the code 2025, or you can save $40 off the recorded 2025 reading. Check out my website for that, and the codes are down in the description. Additionally, on my website, you can find a variety of products I create. I'd like to highlight my 2025 astrology planner. It is beautiful and it is highly functional. I created it to help myself navigate the challenging transits, set intentions, understand what's coming up, understand how to work with the moon. I even included the best dates for love, challenging dates, lucky dates. All of that can be found in the planner on my website, anastasiadoesastrology.com. And I'd like to highlight my Saturn in Aquarius candle. We're about to deal with Pluto for 20 years in the sign of Aquarius, and it could create a bit of a destabilizing, tense energy here. This candle captures Saturn in the sign of rulership conjunct Venus. So it's sort of, it's a constructive Saturn, right? It's a harmonious Saturn. Venus definitely brings this soft, gentle touch, helping us maximize the productive, structured, diligent, committed approach Saturn carries. Check out my website for that. It could be especially lovely if you were born with Saturn in Leo, Saturn in Cancer, or Saturn in Aries? I forgot for a second. For Saturn in Aries people. So let's talk about Pluto and Aquarius. In the last 2 years, we've gotten a taste of Pluto and Aquarius. Between March and June 2023, we've had the first sort of teaser trailer. And then this year, 2024, between January 20th and September 1st, we had a longer first season premiere of Pluto in Aquarius. Have you noticed it? Have you picked up on any major important shifts in your life? Like I said, Pluto is about power. So when Pluto goes into Aquarius, we become more aware. And you got to remember that Pluto's transits are very slow, right? We're looking at 20 years of Pluto in Aquarius. So it's not like lightning striking Uranian transits. It's a lot more slow buildup. So since Pluto rules power, we actually might notice the changes in power in the next 20 years. And these first previews of Pluto and Aquarius, I think, have already given us across the board, on a personal level, but also on a collective level, examples of people abusing their power, examples of outdated Capricornian structures, traditional ways. So there is more and more conversations about change happening, right? And change coming in the world. And so that is something that is quite likely going to happen in the next 20 years. If we look back at Pluto in Aquarius, last time it was in Aquarius would have been between 1777 and 1798 was the time of French and American revolutions. All of the monarchs, of course, not all of them, but like all of the people, many people that have been grabbing and controlling power have fallen, right? There was a lot of cycles ending. The United States got started, right? So there was a lot of kind of new beginnings and new ways of ruling. That was also the time of the Industrial Revolution, which is the second potential of Pluto in Aquarius, and that is the blossoming and the boom of the unique ways of doing things, new technology, AI development. We've been seeing this already. Green energy, electric cars, even more so, sort of abandoning old ways of doing things and prioritizing new ways of doing things. And there are always fears connected to Pluto. So whichever sign Pluto is in, right? When Pluto was in Scorpio for millennial generation, that was the rise of the serial killers. Now Pluto being in Aquarius, this could be the rise of the machines and like fears connected to them, right? Things do work out. We have overcome fears connected to the rise of the serial killers with Pluto in Scorpio, or to terrorists. Of course, it's never completely gone, but 9/11 with Pluto in Sagittarius was very much fear of what's coming from the sky, fear of like travel and people of other cultures. So similarly here, we may notice that there are fears connected to AI and maybe even some kind of like aliens coming, maybe both a fascination but also a fear. And one other possibility, of course there's multiple possibilities here, but one other big shift that Pluto in Aquarius might bring is control of information, control of knowledge, and maybe warfare or fighting for information and withholding some information. Aquarius is an air sign. So with air being connected to knowledge and information, there's a possibility of that being used both to our advantage when we're talking about the development of new energy, fusion, technology, AI, green energy, whatever it might be, but there's also a possibility that people will try to hold on to the information and perhaps not share it as generously. But I am hopeful. I am excited about maybe, new fuels, new sources of power. We might see one other thing, I guess we might see here is developments connected to air, as in new types of planes, more use of drones, right? Maybe drones as methods of delivery, which we've seen already, but also drones as weapons. So there's always some more like happy possibility and a little bit more of a difficult possibility. But I am more hopeful and more excited. On a personal level, we will notice the shift happening in the Aquarius sector of our chart. We may notice a lot more humanitarian, communal energy where we seek out our neighbors. We feel much more connected. We understand that we cannot accomplish things alone. We may notice, we've already been noticing it, but Aquarius being the sign of community versus its opposite Leo, and Leo is the sign of celebrity, right? With Pluto in Aquarius, we may notice common folk becoming more noticeable and more prominent. And of course, there are ways to do that with TikTok and social media already, just for an average Joe, but there's also possibilities that other people will be brought up through the use of social media. And of course, we will notice, like I said, in the Aquarius sector of our chart, we will notice deep and profound changes besides community. So community is one. Awareness of our power is another one. A need for something to die and be reborn, an increase in intensity where you're focusing on that sector of the chart more and more, and you're establishing yourself, you're exposing or expressing yourself in more bold and passionate and authentic ways. And sometimes that might disrupt some people and some opinions, but in the long run, I think it will be powerful and transformative. Maybe I'll do a video about Pluto in Capricorn, sort of final results. We'll see. If you have any stories to tell about this transit that we're coming out of right now, Pluto in Capricorn between 2008 and 2024, please share. How has your life shifted? I feel like some of you have already done that on my previous videos, but it could be a useful exercise. to gather more data. As always, if you're looking for a personal reading, book one at anastasiadoesastrology.com and pick up my 2025 planner to get it delivered before New Year's. So let's break it down for the 12 rising signs. I recommend listening for your rising sign, but you're welcome to listen to your sun or moon signs to sort of compare, contrast, and you're more than welcome to share with me how has Pluto in Aquarius between March and June 2023 and January and August 2024 has already affected you. If you are the passionate Aries rising, Pluto is entering your 11th house. And this heralds a new cycle of growth of your social network, your community. You're becoming the Pluto character in your community. You're helping people change. You're helping people transform. You're maybe becoming more honest, more passionate, more driven to speak out. You're gathering people around you that are in need of help, right? And that can show up in you becoming more involved with your environment, starting a nonprofit organization, becoming a teacher, connecting with new people, right? Maybe you're getting a new job that is putting you in front of more people. There might be deep transformations in your friendships and within your friendship group. And we've had Pluto in Aquarius between March and June 2023 and from late January until the end of August 2024. Have you noticed any of this? Have you noticed any passion and intensity and shifts in friendships, new dreams, desire to get more involved with the community? Because you're likely to keep noticing that as the energy continues. And in terms of friendships, sometimes Pluto reveals secrets. So if you have friends that are jealous of you or toxic, somehow unhealthy for you, this will be revealed, and then it is more likely that your relationship with that friend will shift. But I see for many a strong desire to find meaning, to find purpose, and that purpose will likely going to show up through relating to people around you, wanting to help your country, wanting to help your local homeless shelter, wanting to get involved with women around you. It might be very different for each of you, but I think it's going to be very intense and very passionate energy that's coming into your life. Please share how this resonates. And if you're looking for personal reading, book one at anastasiadoesastrology.com. I highly recommend getting my year ahead reading. It's currently discounted. And you should pick up my 2025 astrology planner and get yourself extra prepared for the year to come. Moving on to the lovely, beautiful Taurus rising. For you, Pluto is entering your 10th house. And this is all about career, status, your public image. And with Pluto having already given us a preview of what it will be bringing, right? We've had Pluto in Aquarius between March and June 2023, and then again from late January until September 1st, 2024. You may have already noticed some shifts in your career. So there is a boost in intensity when Pluto comes in, and it's a 20-year-long transit, so it's gradual, right? But intensity is slowly building, it's a slow burn. It increases and gets stronger and stronger. And it might come from you understanding that you're not happy with your current place of job. You may realize that your relationship with your boss is somehow unhealthy. You may discover some secrets, some sort of corruption or darkness involving your current place of work, and then you might become this Plutonian figure that initiates death and rebirth in your professional sector. Maybe you're meant to, especially let's say if you're born with Mercury in Aquarius, really early in Aquarius, you may be the one, or not even early, but if it's early, it's going to happen sooner versus if your Mercury is in Aquarius, but later on, you might, not for the next 15 years or so. But let's say you have Mercury in Aquarius and Pluto comes in. That might suggest that you're becoming the voice of transformation. You have to share something, you have to tell the story. And yes, I mentioned corruption, but it can also be your story. It can also be your message that you're trying to deliver to the world. Maybe it has some kind of uncomfortable truth to it, but it's necessary and people will be happy to hear it. And intensity in your career can also increase from a strong desire for success, a strong desire for recognition, seeking more visibility, seeking more power. A lot of times you may struggle with this desire for more power, but also desire to be invisible. So finding positions that put you in control but keep you private and quiet are quite likely here. And you may have to address some sort of fears and doubts connected to this power, sort of deal with your own lack of faith in yourself potentially, or your own doubts before you reach your fullest potential. Share how this resonates. Have you noticed Pluto and Aquarius igniting those topics already? And as always, if you're looking for personal guidance, you have questions that a one-on-one consultation will answer, book a reading at anastasiadoesastrology.com and pick up my 2025 planner on there to get it delivered before the year wraps up to help you prepare for the year to come. If you are the chatty and youthful Gemini rising, Pluto is entering your 9th house. And so depending on whether you have your midheaven, which is the angle of career, in the 9th house, it could be about your job. And if your midheaven is not in Gemini, it's in a different sign, then this is likely about an ideological shift. So 9th house is the place of belief. And Pluto coming into the 9th can introduce new ideas. And I think it will be very different, right? Across the board. For some of you, it might be a desire to eat vegetarian because you now realize something and you want to do your part and, promote vegetarianism. For some of you, it might be a religious shift. You may notice in the next 20 years that you are separating from your old belief system and maybe moving in the direction of a new one. Maybe you were born Christian and you're turning to Judaism, or, it depends, right? But shifts in ideas, shifts in ideology, shifts in self-worth and self-belief. 9th house rules education, so traveling to get education, going back to school, becoming a teacher, becoming this influential figure who has a message to deliver is quite likely. It's also the house of travel, so you might be moving, your place of living might be changing. The house of publishing and writing, and similarly, if you have a strong message that you want to share with the world, this is a great time to start writing, to start working on it. Some, like 9th house is always the place of long journeys. And so with Pluto here, you are on some level venturing on a long journey. And for some, it might be a literal one. Maybe you're traveling to a brand new place and maybe you're planning to keep moving around. While for others, 9th house journey could be a mental journey, a transformation of your faith, like I said, and changes in terms of your beliefs and your place, your vision of your place in the world. Please share how this resonates. Have you noticed Pluto in Aquarius between March and June 2023, and then January and September 1st, 2024, already lifting these topics up? Have you been feeling it? And as always, if you're looking for a personal consultation, book one at anastasiadoesastrology.com. My year ahead readings are currently on sale, so take advantage of that. And also pick up my 2025 astrology planner. It's a great treat for yourself. It could make a lovely gift for people in your life who adore astrology, and definitely get it and prepare for the year to come, because it takes about 2-3 weeks to get delivered, so you don't want to wait. For the sensitive and beautiful Cancer risings, Pluto is entering your 8th house. So good news, it's out of your 7th, right? Since 2008, you've dealt with so many changes in your relationships, so many transformations, so many ups and downs. And now that it's gone, you can hopefully find more peace and quiet and calm in your relationships. Of course, 8th house is not that far from the house of relationships, and it does represent resources you share with other people, and quite often it's other people's resources. So as far as the resources of the partner are concerned, right, this could be a period when you're realizing that your partner is going through some kind of important professional shift. Maybe they are making big investments, maybe they're changing career, maybe something about their life is not feeling as stable and steady as it used to be. Hopefully, things are changing for the better. Hopefully, they're discovering some type of ways to make money by investing, and then you're benefiting through that. But it could also be the time of more intimacy, more vulnerability, more sort of transformation of your agreements with other people. Both, I think, in terms of freeing yourself from the agreements and freeing yourself from heavy weight that you've been carrying, both in your bank account, like Pluto in the 8th might emphasize your need for freedom, your need to separate yourself and, sort of sever connections that are toxic, but also in terms of bringing new relationships, bringing new agreements that feel empowering, that feel healthy and supportive. You might find yourself making investments, especially with the Aquarian themes, science, green energy, AI, all of that kind of stuff becomes more interesting to you, and getting an inheritance or profiting and benefiting through your connections, through your relationships with other people, getting some kind of insurance payments are also likely here. Of course, watch out for the shadow side of Pluto in the 8th, and that is there's a bit of a danger of like power struggles around money and resources. Pluto has been in Aquarius for a little bit between March and June 2023, and then again from January 20th until September 1st, 2024. Have you noticed these themes coming up? Have you noticed anything shifting in your life or your partner's life already? Please share down below, and if you're looking for personal guidance, you have questions about the year coming up, your relationship, your natal chart, book a reading at Anastasia.astrology.com, and pick up my Moon in Cancer 2 or my beautiful Almond Moon candle. These are very supportive. They have lovely, relaxing energy. I love this one. It smells like almond macarons, and I know for some people maybe they might prefer a flowery scent, but I feel like I love both of these equally because they both carry Moon in Cancer energy. So this would be perfect for you. Moving on to the bright and solar Leo rising. So for you guys, Pluto is entering your 7th house. And so it already has been teasing the themes of the next 20 years between March and June 2023. And then again between January 20th and September 1st, 2024. Have you noticed things changing in your relationships? Pluto moves very slowly and deeply, but steadily, like I said, slowly changes the sector of your chart that it's traveling through. So here we're looking at relationships, and the changes can be either inspired by your partner's life undergoing a big shift. Maybe your partner is facing some kind of darkness, some kind of difficulty, life, death, birth experiences happening in their life that is testing your relationship. Or these might be inspired by your inner desire for powerful, close, raw, vulnerable relationships. You have to be really aware with this transit, because sometimes if you're not, this could be surprising and shocking, and some kind of dramatic explosion or something can happen in your relationship and you are like, oh, I don't know where it came from, but maybe actually you've been manifesting it for a while by being afraid of something or by thinking certain thoughts, indulging in certain ideas. It is one thing for sure, it's the time of major empowerment through your relationships, where you're attracting people of a different kind of caliber, people who on the negative, right, can be very Plutonian. You might be dating people who are like involved with mafia or criminals or toxic. Or on the healthier side, they could be people who have undergone a lot of transformations. Maybe they are in therapy or they are therapists. Maybe you're dating an astrologer, a shaman, a tarot reader. There is a lot of kind of deep experiences, and it's quite likely that for the next 20 years or so, you will experience a lot of passion, a lot of intensity, and a lot of change and empowerment, but maybe at times challenging emotions through relationships. But ultimately, it will bring you kind of closer to yourself through your partner, through your partnership. Please share how this resonates. If you're looking for personal guidance, book a reading at anastasia@astrology.com. I'd be happy to analyze your chart, talk about your year coming up or your relationship. And if you're looking for support through the upcoming Mars retrograde, pick up my Moon in Cancer or Almond Moon candle. These are, this one's really big. These are awesome and very supportive. Very relaxing. I love these candles. They're my favorites. If you are the lovely Virgo rising, Pluto is entering your 6th house. And here we are seeing a lot of intensity and transformation and sort of depth around career. And this might show up at first with you realizing that you're not quite happy with where you work. We're talking about Aquarius. Maybe you're feeling like your company doesn't respect its employees, like it doesn't have a good severance package or a good benefits. You know, you feel like they're sort of abusing people who are working for them. And so this realization or any other realization might inspire you to start your own business and to go off on your own. Transformations around health, not necessarily out of sickness, but maybe maybe there's just like natural changes that you're going through. Your body is changing because you're getting older, or you've given birth to a child and now you are feeling like, you need to maybe take care of yourself differently. There might be like a natural sort of intense interest in diet, health, nutrition, exercise. So focusing on building your body, building your habits, building your routines in sort of better ways is quite likely here. So I can see you slowly and surely becoming a nutritionist, a dietitian, a yoga teacher, stuff like that. Watch out for power struggles with colleagues. Watch out for working too hard and being too sort of critical and intense with yourself. And use this as an opportunity to like declutter both your head, but also your schedule, your work life, and your habits, if I haven't said so already. If you're looking for personal guidance, book a reading on my website, anastasia.astrology.com. We can look at your year coming up, your relationship or your natal chart, and pick up my 2025 astrology planner to help make your year better, to help you get ready. This one takes about 2-3 weeks to ship and get delivered, so order it now and get it before the year comes to a close. For the charming Libra rising, Pluto is entering your 5th house, and that brings attention to the sector of romance, pleasure, self-expression, children, and parenthood. And we've had Pluto in Aquarius, the teaser trailer and the season premiere, between March-June 2023 and January 20th, September 1st, 2024. Have you noticed the intensity increasing in those sectors? Have you noticed any shadows, passions, desires appearing for you? So if we're talking about the shadows, right? Pluto always brings up some darkness, makes you more aware of the things you need to work on, things you need to transform. And so in the 5th house, there might be some kind of fears, jealousy, control issues appearing in your romantic relationships and in your relationships with your children, right? Like sometimes Pluto and Aquarius might change our relationship with our child, bring up some difficulty there. Maybe your child is saying things that are hitting you very deeply and either like inspiring you or maybe reminding you of a wound that you're working on healing. So children, romantic partners can be big catalysts of our change at this point. Passionate relationships and more desire to create this like intimate sparkly connection is likely here. If you're single, maybe you're looking at dating and you're approaching dating differently. Maybe you're opening yourself up to dating women and men at the same time. Maybe you're exploring sexually and becoming more aware of your sexuality. Maybe you are diving into new passions. Fifth house is very diverse. Fifth house represents joy and pleasure, and that is different for different people. Some people might love hiking, other people might love yoga, other people might love sitting at home and decorating their notebooks or something, or doing macrame, or, you know, knitting or something. But one thing is for sure, Pluto brings this like gradual but profound changes in your attitudes towards love, children, hobbies, pleasure, right? You're feeling like you want intensity. You're feeling that you want truth. You don't want just like sort of be in a relationship that's not fulfilling and not satisfying. Your child may also be going through a change in their life that affects your relationship, and maybe, you know, inspires more kind of honesty in your relationship. And the fifth house represents, like, as you know, in a sense that it represents parenthood. You may become a parent in the next 20 years, right? Chances are quite high, even if you're watching it and you're like 12 right now. You know, but you might become a parent, and that might bring up a lot of sort of, once again, healing that you need to do, intense emotions that you haven't addressed. Your romantic relationship may also bring up some emotions connected to that, and so all of it could be very important and very healing. If you're looking for personal guidance, you have questions that only a one-on-one consultation will answer, book a reading with me on my website, Anastasia.astrology.com, and pick up your 2025 planner. It takes about 2-3 weeks to ship and get delivered, so you want to order it now to receive it before the year comes to a close. Look how pretty. Go get it now. If you are a Scorpio rising, Pluto is entering your fourth house, bringing deep, profound, powerful changes to your home, family, living situation. We've had Pluto enter Aquarius twice already. First time for a really brief glimpse, because between March and June 2023. And then second time, it was a more longer transit between January 20th and September 1st, 2024. Have you noticed any changes in the sector of home, family, and living situation? Living situation, right? Pluto in the fourth might represent moving more than once, multiple moves. As a Libra rising who's just finished that, I've moved so many times between 2008 and right now, and that seems to be like a case for many people. Moving to another state, moving to a different house, moving a few times within your city, like all kinds of changes. Pluto in the fourth might reveal some kind of flaws in the foundation of your house. If there has been, like there might be like piping issues or plumbing issues. Of course, it's not all going to be like dark and poopy. There are also possibilities of like really, maybe you're discovering something about your family. Some of it might be secrets that you don't want to know, that you'd rather die with your grandparents, let's say. But you might also discover something that makes you feel more connected to your family. You might learn something that is transformative and powerful and empowering, right? Changes in the family, maybe in lives of your parents or in lives of your family members, and changes involving boundaries in the home, sort of learning to be more independent, learning to have more power. Maybe you're taking a different role. Maybe you're becoming a parent, or you're, becoming a patriarch of your existing family. You're starting to host Thanksgivings. You're becoming the glue that holds everyone together. Whatever it is, you are emerging a very different person throughout this transit. And trust me, you're going to like the new person that you will become over the course of the next 20 years. If you're looking for personal guidance, book a reading at Anastasia.astrology.com. My 2025 readings are discounted. The information is down there. You can also book a relationship or natal chart reading and get my 2025 astrology planner. It's time. Get it now so it comes to you before the year comes to a close. For the charming and funny Sagittarius risings, Pluto is entering your third house. Third house is all about writing, communication, skills and hobbies, business, siblings, neighbors, travel, short journeys, so many things. It's your everyday life. It's things you do, people you talk to, transportation you use, right? The path you take to your job. And so with Pluto here, Pluto always slowly and surely like increases intensity. It makes you deal with any shadows. Sometimes it brings up fears. You know, if we're talking about like siblings, neighbors, and neighborhood, it might suggest that maybe you're addressing some kind of wound connected to a sibling that you can't escape from. Maybe your relationship with them becomes more intense. Maybe something is happening in their life. That is also possible, that a sibling might be experiencing an important shift, and that in turn transforms your relationship with them. Similarly, you know, moving, changing homes and feeling a little bit out of place, feeling isolated, needing to get over some fears is a possibility here. Maybe you're getting a neighbor that looks a little bit creepy or makes you feel a little bit uncomfortable. Maybe a neighbor who's just very intense. Somebody who keeps trying to talk to you and get you involved in the park cleaning activities or something, and you're like, just leave me alone. Pluto in the third house is also quite empowering for your mind. I think it can definitely make you more aware of the thoughts and the patterns in your head, and perhaps let go of some that are not serving you, and then maybe bring forward those that do. Development of new interests, new skills, new passions, a desire to start your business, to become more independent, right, is a possibility here. Wanting to communicate your truth, starting to communicate in a more intense, powerful way, right? You're not enjoying shallow talk. You want to talk about the world and politics and society and philosophy. You might find yourself writing about it or starting a blog, starting a YouTube channel. It's very much the time to pursue any dreams, any interests that you've been putting on the back burner, because you might realize with this transit that the time is now and you don't have your whole life to keep standing in the corner and thinking about it. If you're looking for personal guidance, book a reading at anastasiadoesastrology.com. I can look at your year coming up. Those readings are currently discounted. And we can talk about your natal chart or your relationship. Additionally, on my website, you can pick up my 2025 astrology planner. Get it now so it comes to you before the year wraps up. And I'm going to drink some water before I run out of my voice. Okay. I think my voice is fine. If you are the lovely Capricorn rising, Pluto is entering your second house. And hooray to Pluto leaving your first, right? How exciting. From 2008, it's been shaking you and changing your identity and bringing a lot of challenging but hopefully empowering experiences. Now it's done. You have likely developed a strong sense of self. So with Pluto in the second house, you're looking at your resources and your values, and what kind of things you surround yourself with that make you you. So I think definitely, you know, if we're talking about values, definitely there is a sense of your goals have shifted, and how does your world reflect it? Do you need to buy new things? Do you need to change your wardrobe? Do you need to make some investments that are more supportive of your new identity? Like start, you know, studying Reiki or astrology, invest in some sort of deeper self-improvement courses. Pluto in the second house can also bring up major changes around work, changing jobs, changing professional directions, becoming more intuitive about money and about investments. You might start digging really deep into certain, you know, funds and IRAs and all of those things that I clearly don't know too much about. Pluto has already entered Aquarius for a little bit between March and June 2023, and then again January 20th and September 1st, 2024. Have you noticed anything like that? Because I have a few Capricorn rising clients, and there's definitely been an increase in investing, starting businesses, expanding their portfolio on many levels. So you might notice that same desire and sort of powerful instincts involving money. You got to watch out for the shadow side of this is maybe certain fears around resources, maybe working through your sense of self-worth that is tied to what you have or what you do and how productive you are. Power struggles around money with your partners are also likely, and maybe I think I said that already, but like fears of not having enough, or fears of even being too private and not letting people know what you have for the fear of them taking advantage of you. And all of that, is fair to some extent, but make sure that those fears do not take you too far, and enjoy the increased intuitive power that should help you make the bank. If you're looking for personal guidance, book a reading at Anastasia@astrology.com. You can get a year ahead reading to find out what 2025 has in store, a relationship or a natal chart reading, and pick up my 2025 planner to get yourself prepared for the year to come, and get it delivered before the year wraps up so you are ready to start journaling and setting intentions on January 1st. For the quirky, unique Aquarius risings, Pluto is entering your first house. So this is a big deal, right? This is 20 years of empowerment, becoming Pluto, becoming the source of transformation for yourself and people around you, and changes, transformations, shifts, right, in your identity and how you define yourself and what you look and how you speak sometimes, how people see you. Pluto has given us a preview of what its transit through Aquarius will be like between March and June 2023, and then also January 20th, September 1st, 2024. What was that like for you? Has it introduced any power struggles? Has it introduced a strong desire to discover yourself? Has there been any changes, any sort of empowering or challenging experiences you had to deal with? Thinking of it being an Aquarius, I feel like you may have to be the voice of your community. You may have to be the one who is speaking the truth and initiating change and helping people realize things, right? I have a couple of clients that are fighting for important social issues. One is advocating for her child with the local government. So it might be quite powerful, right? You might become more visible. You might become more important in your community. You might be looking for a job that gives you more power, I think. Of course, first house is connected to like identity and health. And so sometimes with Pluto here, you might also deal with a little bit of an identity crisis, or maybe with some kind of like health issue. It doesn't have to be anything difficult, but like maybe some type of like, transformation in your body that is connected to giving birth or getting older, becoming more serious about taking care of your body, exercising, becoming more committed to your goals as well, I can see here. And your relationships will definitely transform in the process, because if you are reclaiming your power and other people do not see it or do not support you, you may need to rethink how true is this relationship, how important, how valid it is for your life. Of course, don't kill anyone. Just kidding. Don't go like all sort of do not do that. And another thing that this could manifest as is physical changes, because as you go through deep internal changes, your physicality, your style, your body, your look begins to transform. So you might get a few tattoos, piercings, change your style and stuff like that. If you're looking for personal guidance, book a reading at anastasiadoesastrology.com. It's a great time to get your year ahead prediction, your natal chart reading, or your relationship reading. And I highly recommend for any Aquarius rising my Saturn in Aquarius candle. Saturn is currently in Pisces, but it's about to go in the sign of its detriment. And Pluto will be in Aquarius, so you can definitely use this productive, structured, ambitious, successful, and focused on mastery and recognition, Saturnian energy. Now, if you are the lovely Pisces rising, Pluto is entering your 12th house, which is the realm of subconscious, spirituality, imagination, and mental health. And we've had Pluto in Aquarius, a taste test between March and June 2023, and then January 20th and September 1st, 2024. What were those times like for you? So Pluto has this like kind of darker side to it. So when Pluto goes into your 12th house, you may deal with some sort of internal fears, some self-defeating tendencies coming to light, bad habits, and you will have a choice. You will have a choice to either escape into them, and then likely Pluto will find you again and show you the darkness again, right? Or you have a choice to overcome it, to take control over your negative habits, your bad patterns, your unhealthy tendencies. And so Pluto here can be very important and profound for kicking all of your self-defeating tendencies, your negative self-talk, your fears, your doubts, learning to have more control over the deeply hidden aspects of your psyche, right? Because 12th house is the blind spot. Everything that you're not being aware of that is affecting your life, that has control over you, your thoughts, your words, your actions, your like triggers, all of that stuff will become more important. And then on another level, this could be a great time to start therapy. This could be a great time to express yourself through art, through healing, through tending to other people. 12th house has long been the place of those that are isolated, people in prisons, hospitals, mental asylums, people who have just been through a shipwreck, right? And so once you tend to yourself and you learn to work with your own bad patterns and negative tendencies, for some of you, I can see this transit as a very empowering time when you get connected to your healing gifts and talents, and then you become the source of change and transformation for other people. You help them kick their bad habits to the curb. So very important, very interesting transit. Definitely, I'd recommend trying to be more conscious about it and maybe, start therapy, start sort of journaling, meditating before you have any, issues with sleep or any sort of challenging manifestations of it, because it can definitely affect your waking and sleeping hours. So if you be proactive, if you start reading books about philosophy, if you start doing sort of healing work, volunteering, meditating, therapy, journaling, all of that can be powerful remedy for addressing the more challenging sides of it. If you're looking for more guidance, book a reading at anastasiadoesastrology.com. I'd be happy to answer your questions and help you understand the year coming up, Pluto in Aquarius, any other transits, and we can talk about your relationship or your natal chart. On my website, I also highly recommend picking up a candle. Moon in Cancer is beautiful for you guys. And my 2025 planner. It takes 2-3 weeks to ship, so order it now to get it before the year comes to a close. Thank you for being here. This is a big one, right? Pluto has been in and out of Aquarius, but now it's entering for good, and I think it's a transit we'll be talking about for a while in some shape or form. So I hope you enjoy this transit, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.